Good morning, this is Craig from MFGX. This morning I'm going to do a brief demonstration of how to put together a pretty simple rudimentary directed put away application for your material handlers using our MFGX.io and our new MFGX Edge application, which is available now. So first, a little bit about MFGX. Is a 100% cloud-based platform which allows our customers to perform many different integrations. It also provides you with on-premise applications, Chrome extensions, and many other things that will help you get the job done. We're going to focus today on this feature here, the Edge platform. So this is MFGX Edge, which allows you to deploy applications locally on tablets or PCs and build them custom to your specific needs. And I'm going to show how we constructed this very simple put away application. It's not 100% complete, but we just wanted to throw something together to show you what the capabilities are. So I'm going to focus on some inventory that I have here in my Plex system. As you can see, I have these parts. I have this one here, which has been processed through the line or the process itself. It's sitting at the work center location, keg line 1. You can see, that these are at operation 20, right? So the concept of the app here is to indicate to a material handler when there's at least 3 containers of finished product ready to be moved away from the production line at a given work center. And it's supposed to notify the material handler of that and then allow the material handler to accept or reject that, the request basically. And if they accept the request, that means they're going to go take that material, and then the application will provide them with a directed put away location based on location, capacity, and availability. So that's at a high level what we're trying to accomplish here with this pretty simple app. And there's a lot more that we could do with it, but we just wanted to address those main points because they do come up a lot. So I have these 3 containers sitting here at this location. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my Plex screen. So you'll see, first of all, I have 2 windows here open. We'll get rid of this one for a second and focus on this. This is the administrative panel of our MFGX Edge application. And as you can see here, I have a flow which has several different nodes which are all doing different things. This one here, I want to point out here, the startup node allows you to kick the process off, but you can also configure this one to check the system on some interval. So if you want to check your work centers for inventory that needs to be moved, say every minute or every 5 minutes or every 15 minutes, you can simply set that here. And it's going to go ahead and do that. It's going to run this integration every however many minutes you set, look for containers that need to be moved, and then present that to the material handler. We have a few different UI buttons that we've added, move button, a cancel button, OK button, and there's a table that we have put into the front end screen so that the material handler gets some visibility as to what containers they are, what part numbers they are, and so on. And that could be expanded as well. Over here, you have the layout. So the layout determines how the UI is going to look to the user. If you click this layout tab right here, you'll see you have a visual drag and drop to basically design your app. So once you have some UI buttons placed in your flow, you can arrange those in whichever fashion makes the most sense to you. And you can adjust the size and do all sorts of things like that. So every couple of minutes, this node is going to go and check. I'm going to break, this is the actual app now. So this window would be running on a tablet or some type of thin client, maybe on a fork truck or something like that, or just maybe somebody's just walking around with that running. So first thing you'll notice is that at the top I have a notification and that appeared once I initiated this, and it would also go every couple minutes based on my setup. And it's querying Plex to see for work center locations to see which one or which ones have 3 containers or more at the output side, which would be the work center location itself in our configuration. And the material handler can accept or reject this request to grab containers. So if you have 10 different material handlers, there's a lot of ways to do this, but this is kind of a queuing system. So if each material handler rejected, it's going to wait for the next request under the assumption that maybe another material handler would accept the request and go ahead and move those containers. So what I would need to do now is either wait 2 minutes or I can come back here and manually re-inject this process. And now it found those 3 containers again. So if the material handler accepts that request, we provide them a list of the 3 containers. And just for proof, you'll see that there's these 3 containers here, 152, 53, and 54 are the same 3 containers that show up in my list. It gives me the part number and it gives me the quantity for each of those. And there's several other things that could be done here as well. So now at this point, since they've accepted it, that's essentially like the material handler putting these items into their cart, if you will, or grabbing them with their forklift or whatever, but they're physically in their possession. One thing I've seen many people do is add additional locations for the material handlers themselves, maybe fork truck 1, fork truck 2, and so on. And once they accept this, we could literally move these items to that location. So you see that they're actually in transit and who has them in transit. So that would be an option that you could do as well. So they're on my forklift, and it also went and pulled for me the location keg line put away 1, which happens to have available capacity. So based on the rules that I've configured here in my flow, it's telling me that this is where I should take these items to. And just to double check, these are currently sitting at keg line 1, right? So I have various put away locations for keg line 1. They could be anything, but in this instance, it's telling me to take it to keg line 1 put away, as we'll see here. So all the fork truck driver would do at this point is hit the move inventory button, and these are going to get moved to this keg line put away 1 location once they do that. So I'm going to cancel this request out, clear it out, and start it over. But that's the basics of the put away application. You'll see here, these are now moved to keg line put away 1. Again, this is not a 100% polished up application. It's just something that I had the guys throw together pretty quickly just to demonstrate some of the capabilities around our edge application and some of the things that you can do with it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us, and we'd be happy to walk you through this. One other thing that I want to point out here for our community, our user base, is that this particular flow, although it may be specific to my particular implementation, I do have the option of exporting this flow and essentially take this this text, and I can share this with anybody in the community who is also using MFGX. So if you develop something that's really nice, really interesting, and you have a friend in the community that you'd like to share it with, or even collaborate on it with to get your project done, you can easily do that. So all you need to do is export. You'll copy this to your clipboard, and then all they would need to do, if I copy that, all they would need to do is go into their MFGX Edge, go to import, paste it in here, import it, and it brought in a brand new flow. So it duplicated what I had, of course, because I already had the same flow, but that's the general idea. So everything that you've set up would be the same. The only thing that they would need to change at this point would be to go in here and change their MFGX server credentials, because you wouldn't be using the same server. Obviously, they would have their own instance. In this case, because I already have my server established for my Edge application, it automatically defaulted to that for me real nicely. So So that is that. Please let us know if you have any questions or need additional information. Thanks.